Hi, I just wanted to let you know about some things that are going on in our church. Recently, this group of people came together really miraculously. Began to churn some things, particularly with David. And David said, we thought a lot about things we wanted to do, but we need to really know what our community wants to do. And we started talking about doing some surveying for needs assessment in our community. That really kind of started with David. But when David and I started that conversation, what we didn't know was that there were going to be other people joining us. Shortly after that conversation, we talked about inviting Carrie to join us, and she did. And then Yesenia, the next day, sent me an email saying she would like to help out the church with something like this. We actually had a fourth person who's not here, Rebecca Hart, who by that Friday, 2 days later, was also in sort of asking if she might do something to help out our church. So God seems to be doing some fantastic things among this group, and as we go out into the community, seems to be connecting with some really wonderful people. So I just, David, if you would explain a little bit about how you ended up being a part of this and how this got started for you.
I think it started with a building project, Pastor Walt, and looking at, as we're building this new facility, a worship center, what are we going to do with our current building? We're going to have some space. We're finally going to have space to be able to do some outreach pieces. And so what should we do? We have church members with these certain skill sets, but does the community need that? And so we're starting with the basics. What's needed and how can we help?
Why did you decide to do that?
So I just think that God maybe tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, contact Walt. And the premises behind that was just seeing that we have something really special here at Gracepoint that we really should share with the community and our immediate neighbors, and trying to figure out what the best way to meet their needs so that we can start that conversation with them.
The next person I'd like to talk to is Carrie. You and I have really been talking about the church's foundations and its core values for a long time. What about that is drawing you into this group?
Well, I'm really excited about connecting core values with what we actually do, the programs that we offer, and the way that we approach the community. And I think up until this point, we've been kind of exploring how to be our neighborhood's church. And we decided that, hey, if we're going to be our neighborhood's church, we really need to know who they are and what they need and what they're interested in, and who we are and what we have to offer. And so that's what's really exciting about the needs assessment and the internal research that we can make in the church. That's why I'm excited.
We've discovered some interesting partners in the community, largely through some of your contacts. You mind sharing a couple of those partners with us?
Sure. Kids First is the Child Abuse Prevention Council of Placer, and they've been just really excited that we might have a space or even are interested in providing services to the community here in Rockland. There's a variety of providers that are very much open and willing to collaborate with us, and it's just about identifying what the community really needs here in Rockland and what doors we want to walk through, because right now the opportunities are endless.
David, you mentioned the community garden to us.
Yeah, we've started talking to different partners that are involved here, and that's the city, that's other churches, and like you mentioned, other resource centers. And so the city said, well, yeah, we have a need for somebody to run this community garden. It's been built 6 years ago, brand new, but never got implemented. And so it's right here in Johnson Springview Park.
It's right around the corner.
It is right in the neighborhood, and so that's something that's right nearby that we get involved in. We're also exploring Wi-Fi hotspots where we can provide internet to some of the apartment buildings across the street and hopefully save them $45 a month.
Well, you recently contacted one of the managers of the apartment complex, and they expressed a need that we might provide now.
Yeah, which was really awesome. We had no idea that they even needed anything, but it was actually the apartment manager across the street at the Section 8 housing. And she had asked me, she was like, oh, I was thinking about contacting your pastor. We're repaving our parking lot. Would it be okay if we used yours? And without getting too excited and being like, yeah, totally, I was like, oh, well, let me ask our pastor, knowing that, we were more than happy to help, but it was just a great way to start building bridges with them.
So as you can see, a lot of exciting things are going on in our church. We'll be talking to you about what you might be able to help us with. There will be community surveying to be done. There will also be lots of opportunities to serve in the community in the future. These things are just going to multiply, and I'm really excited to see what the four of us and maybe more will discover as God opens more doors.